So, unless you've been living under a rock for the past 36 hours, or I guess by the time this comes out, 4 days, you have at some point opened your phone, logged on to some social media, and seen a picture of a new electric Ferrari. It's called the Luce. And boy, oh boy, has everyone been talking about this new car. It was unveiled. We get this like official design unveiling video from Ferrari. This is the international trip that I couldn't tell you guys about, that I'm now finally able to disclose, that I also went to Italy, drove this car before it was unveiled. It was actually a finished prototype that I got to drive, which had a lot of, what's it called?
Wrapping.
Camouflage all over it.
That explains why you disappeared for a few days. We were like, where the hell's Marques?
I was overseas. And then I got to see the final design and walk through that with the designers. Johnny Ive and Mark Newsom literally walked me around the car for 45 minutes and explained everything. And then they handed me a DJI Osmo and they were like, go ahead.
That's my favorite part of the whole thing.
What?
So that's something not a lot of people have talked about. But the event behind this was, I mean, super, super, super weird and secretive. This is like the Apple of car companies, I guess, in that we had to sign an NDA, obviously. Part of the NDA was if you are responsible for the leak, you owe like hundreds of thousands of dollars of damages.
Really?
Oh my God.
Yes.
That's so much more intense than.
They walk you in when you get to this this super distant track. Like we flew into Milan, and then it's like an hour and a half into some fields, like total middle of nowhere feeling. And as soon as you get there, they like take your phone out of your pocket and they just start taping over all of the cameras on your phone. Kind of like what Samsung used to do. They would tape all of.
Remember that?
I came in there with 5 phones expecting to shoot an autofocus video, and they're like, tape, 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 tape. No shooting on your phones. They're like, we have a camera crew. We have cameras. You use our cameras, and then we'll send you the footage when we're ready.
My gosh,
so funny.
That's crazy.
So all of this to me speaks, it's like yellow flag territory. It's a little bit insecure, but it's also like they clearly don't want anything to leak because they need to control the narrative around this design because it is very different for them.
Yeah.
So extremely secretive.
I feel like it feels more red flag because we've seen it, but I'm
Yeah.
fine with the company taking some serious precautions into not leaking because everything just gets spoiled. This was like an actual reveal.
It was really like a true surprise. And boy, was it a surprise. So the car comes out. I dropped the autofocus video, which I have all this information about the rest of the car, which almost doesn't matter because all anyone is talking about is the design, the interior and the exterior. This is a fully electric car designed by not a car designer. It's designed by Waveform, which, as I mentioned, Johnny Ive, Mark Newsom, and a bunch of people that were brought from the original like Apple design team who worked on things like the iPhone and the original like Apple product that you guys are familiar with today. And so there's a lot of very never before seen features in the car, never before seen design elements of the car. And the internet has been talking nonstop about how ugly they think it is. Now, I can give you guys my take on the design. But I also have a take.
The design for some people who might not have seen it first.
Okay, yes. I can describe the design. So it is a 5-seater, like mid-sized crossover-sized EV. And it is the size of like a Mazda MX-5 or like a Polestar 3. You've probably, a BYD. Like there's a bunch of crossovers the same size.
Crossover Ferrari.
But there is, the front of it has this really big front spoiler and this really smooth glass that sort of cuts under the front spoiler, and then this like shark gills type of look in the front.
Yeah.
The headlights are under the hood. It's a unique front. The back has these big circular taillights, which is maybe the only reference to Ferrari DNA, but then also looks like it's like being swallowed by a larger like rest of the car.
Yeah.
Big glass canopy. You've seen the interior probably by now, but yeah, it is a very like blob EV design that we've seen many times, and we'll get into my take on the design before, but it is not like a particularly exotic or pretty looking car.
Yeah.
So the internet sees that. They see the $640,000 starting price tag and proceed to absolutely burn this car for the next 4 days on the internet. What do you guys think? What do you think of the Ferrari Luce?
I think the blue makes me want to jump off a building.
The
blue? The red is by far the best color.
Hold on. You just did what I did where I was like, wait, this angle looks pretty good. And then you click in and it says
Oh, that's the wrong
this
car.
render just shows how easy it could have been to make this look good, and it's not the real.
Never mind,
render.
it all looks bad.
Yeah, it
No.
I mean, I can jump kind of into my final thought because
Okay.
this car made by a cheaper company at $60,000, I think would look great. But like this car with the Ferrari DNA and this super secretive launch and like the teasers of like Leclerc and Hamilton looking at it and going like ooh ah and making it seem like it's going to be this incredible Ferrari is rough. My other take is Johnny Ive just made a bunch of interior things because that's what he's good at, and then just said, ChatGPT, grab the exterior for me.
I think people were having ChatGPT make the exterior and it looked better than this.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you like have a phone design that some designer worked for like 5 years on, and it's beautiful and it's like curved and perfect, and then you put an OtterBox case on it. That's what it looks like. Someone put an OtterBox case on a Ferrari.
I've been comparing it to like the Mach-E, whereas
Mach-E.
I think the Mach-E is a good car, and I don't dislike the design. But I think when you call it the Mustang, for whatever reason they decide to, everyone comes at it expecting a Mustang. So this is that times 10. When the Ferrari people are spending 7 times more than a Mustang, like this is just that exemplified, and that's why it's so much louder that everyone hates this. I think like if this was an $60,000 to $80,000 car with like decent range and everything, people would be like, this is kind of unique and cool.
It's
and fun.
unbelievably. Do you think that it's ugly on purpose? Because then when rich people have it, because that's the way fashion is sometimes.
Yeah, I think.
Do you think there's anything to that?
All right, here's what I really think. Right, there are honestly really no good 2-door electric cars, like sports cars. Like as a sports car, there's a lot of sports cars out there. The whole idea of a sports car is to be engaged with it, obviously being lightweight and feeling like you're in control of the thing the whole time. Then you try to make an electric one, and your first task is to put the battery somewhere. And in a tiny 2-door car, there is simply not enough room to put a good enough size battery to make it like a reasonable car. And even if you did, they always have to put it at the bottom because it's so heavy. And that room between the axles is precious. You put a battery there, then you move the driver up, everything moves up. It just becomes way too cramped. There's not enough room to make a good battery with today's tech in a tiny 2-door car. So they have to go bigger.
Okay.
So what? Because Porsche Taycan's 4 doors.
That's what I'm looking at right now.
Every electric sports car you're thinking of is 4 doors.
Yeah,
it's a bigger car
for sure.
The Taycan, the Weissach pack, literally has no back seats. It's a 4-door car. You open the back doors. There's no seats. Okay. They just needed room to put all of that stuff.
They should have done that for this though.
So they had to go bigger. So what do? They decide, all right, Ferrari, we already make a Purosangue. We're going to make something the same size, roughly this mid-size crossover thing. And we're going to put the battery in the bottom and design around that. Your choice is now, do you want to make this an aggressive, like exotic-looking car the way other Ferraris have been?
Yes.
But not quite as much?
Correct.
Yes.
Or do you want to fully embrace the fact that this is already so different from every other Ferrari? It's electric, it's silent, it is something super, super new. Do you want to continue to embrace the brand new and do something brand new with the design?
No.
And that was the choice that they made.
Correct.
Now, I think we all know that if Ferrari had made this look like every other older Ferrari, it would have gone way better than this. We all know that those cars look great.
With that, but yes.
We all know that. And everyone at Ferrari knows that. Everyone at Ferrari knows that everyone loves those older designs. It would have been much lower risk to do one of those older designs. Even the Purosangue, not everybody from Ferrari loves that, but it's at least kind of still sort of a Ferrari-looking car.
Yeah.
What they end up doing instead is they work with Love From and Johnny Ive's team, who everyone kind of knows came from Apple and did some legendary products there. And we've ended up with this sort of more aero-focused thing, which has almost no reference to any other older Ferrari, which I think is intentional. I think they're going, this is new, make it look like an exotic electric car, not an exotic gas car. And the more I look at this car, I'm not going to say it looks good. It looks really different.
Yeah.
And a lot of angles look really bad, but a lot of angles also look, it's not the worst looking car I've ever seen.
I don't hate it.
It's not a terrible looking car. And so what I keep coming back to is almost everything wrong about this car comes from the fact that 1, it is a Ferrari, and 2, it is $600,000.
Yes, exactly.
If this was, hear me out, a $180,000 Lucid we would all be totally fine with it.
I don't know if that's true.
Because Lucids are not pretty. Like a lot of these other EVs.
I like the Lucid.
What are you talking about?
All right, Polestar. All right, a BYD. Like think of any random other blob. The Mercedes EQS. There are some
Sucks.
ugly whale-looking EVs out there.
I agree with that.
And
I see what you're
nobody
saying,
says
Marques.
anything
I
about
agree.
those. And so if this is one of those, it's fine.
I think the Mach-E is a fair comparison to this, right?
So the Mach-E, I think, is interesting because
exemplified Mach-E.
exactly the Ferrari
Am I
part
using
is what
that
you're
term?
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is like when you have a
Sorry,
Ferrari
I was-
badge on something, there is the expectation of it to be a Ferrari. And it's stronger than ever with that brand because
that word wrong.
there's a long history of all the racing and the motorsport and all of the Ferrari designs that people love, the posters on the wall from the 90s to 2000s. And so everyone is expecting, oh, okay, it's Ferrari. They're going to do something really, really great that maybe we've never seen before. And then it's this blob, and we're like, oh, that's not what I thought.
Yeah.
And then the $600,000 is the same thing. Oh, it's going to be a $500,000 car. Oh, therefore it must be at like some highest level, amazing, best possible design. So when this doesn't meet that, it falls way, 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 way short. Like I said, if this was a $150,000 not Ferrari, this doesn't fall nearly as short on design or specs or anything else. And all we're talking about is how, oh, there's another kind of a blob-looking EV out there.
Looks like a shark.
Yeah, looks like a fish.
Can I argue back on your? If it needs a battery, it has to be aero. It has to look like this. Blah blah blah.
Oh, yes.
I just don't think it does. I just don't think anyone's
yeah.
buying a Ferrari to be practical, and I think it's totally fine if this was like a sick Ferrari
With 100
that had 100 miles of range that could
Yeah.
get you from your house to the restaurant you want to see everyone. You want everyone to see you show up at, or like do with a couple track.
So I actually agree, and I think Ferrari probably also went down this route too, where they're like, "What if we don't go fully different? What if we go halfway there? It's already electric. That's crazy enough. Let's play it safe with everything else. Okay, it's really aggressive in aero, and so the range is going to be garbage. But like, who cares? It's a Ferrari. Like, you're not driving this every day. Why? Since when did anyone care about the efficiency of a sports car? Like, that's totally a reasonable way to think about this." And I think they ended up going away from that probably because they just chose, they were like trying to pick one of their battles. They're like, do we make this car that every Ferrari person is going to hate because it's an electric version that sort of bastardizes the Ferrari design? Or do we just do something totally different so that the electric stuff is grouped in with this new design and it's just so different, it doesn't even resemble a Ferrari in the slightest. It's a totally new thing. And they're also thinking about buyers. And Ferrari people who are buying all the other gas Ferraris and who care about the V12 and the V10 and those other powertrains are, for the first time, completely not in the target demographic of a new Ferrari. This is supposed to be for a new, potentially younger, potentially more international buyer who wasn't going to buy any of those other Ferraris.
Who buys ugly stuff because that's the point.
I don't want to cut Ellis off.
Who buys maybe more electric, is more interested in technology, and maybe sees Johnny Ive designed it and goes, oh yeah, this speaks to me more than whatever Italian name you were going to put in front of me before. That is the slightly newer buyer. So I think Ferrari's thinking about all of this new, and is just leaning fully on new, different, nothing old at all. That's how he ended up here.
Marques, I have an idea seed to plant in your brain.
Please.
Because and me saying this out loud will guarantee I will never be invited to a single Ferrari thing for the rest of my life.
I think I'm already banned too.
I don't think this is entirely new. Because when I see the design of the car, it makes me think of a bunch of the late 60s and entire all through the 70s Lambos. Like if you're familiar with like the Lambo Miura and Lambo...
Those are so angular though.
No, look up the Lamborghini Harama is what it's called with a J.
Harambe?
Yeah, or like the Lamborghini Urraco, or like the 70s really smooth ones before you get to the angular Countach. To me, if you combine like the Miura, the Harama, and the Urraco, and then take like a Dodge Daytona EV and throw that in there, it like becomes
It's pretty
the Luce.
angular, though, I would say.
I see what you're saying. This is so much more of like, I described it in my short as like if a BYD ate a Ferrari. And at first you laugh because like, why would anyone spend $600,000 on a BYD? But they make the best electric cars in the world right now. Yeah. They sell a lot of cars. And if you're going to compete in like who's going to make the best electric car, okay, I drove it. I can't talk about me driving it yet, but I think it's pretty clear they're targeting this being one of the best driving electric cars. It's not the best straight line speed because it's not the lightest. You have Plaid, you have Lucid Air Sapphire, but I mean, they took me to a track to drive it, so that should say something about how they aim for positioning of this car. It's still a driving experience. It's still a Ferrari drive. So it is like the sportiest, most luxurious version of the BYD.
You might not know the answer to this question, and I might be kind of wrong, but in general, to buy a Ferrari, you have to have owned Ferraris already, right?
No. So that is definitely a common thing that people talk about online. It's to buy certain more premium Ferraris. Okay. Yes.
Because when the whole argument is like no one who owns Ferraris is going to want this, if they're the only ones who can buy it, it feels like it feels like to me though, as someone who's like, if you like all the things that Ferrari makes right now, you probably don't like this.
Yep.
But also, like, if you're the kind of person who's really looking forward to buy a Ferrari because you want to have, like, the Ferrari clout that's involved with it, this also is not that. So I'm very confused at who is the person that's buying this.
Yeah.
It's not cheap.
It's not cheap.
I think
$500,000.
I think it's too expensive.
It makes so much more sense to just buy a really sick, nice sports car like a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, and then also buy, like, a Lucid.
Yeah.
If you want any of these,
a 3-bedroom house.
I do think they somewhere along the line ended up at this being the most dailyable, most practical, most comfortable Ferrari, and no one was asking for that.
No one.
But that is technically what this is, and so there it is.
I wish I had a jet ski that could fit 6 people.
And that's how it feels. It's a little crazy, but you know what's funny? I talked about this again in the short. Let's say this happens with Porsche, right? Everyone who loves motorsport and loves Porsches loves the GT4s and the GT3s and the 911s, right? We all care about the sports cars. But as Porsche was approaching literal bankruptcy, they're like, well, we got to try the other thing. And now there's the Macan and the Cayenne and these like crossovers that do way more volume than the sports cars. And that, for a long time, has been making enough money for them to develop the sports cars too. And Porsche people kind of just went, I guess that's necessary. I'm not going to buy one, but I get why people do buy that. The soccer mom, the suburban housewife has to get one of these. All right, great. That makes us more money. Now we can keep doing the sports car thing. Same thing with Lamborghini.
These aren't any of those things though.
The same thing with Lamborghini. No, I'm saying the form factor. I do think the price kind of fails this analogy. But the Lamborghini is the same thing. Like the Urus came out and it is $250,000, but it is the one with 4 or 5 seats or whatever, and you could sell that and still develop the more hardcore, less practical Lamborghinis. This could fit that analogy if it was also cheaper and was more attainable. I kind of wonder, how many do they expect to actually sell? The Purosangue doesn't sell that well. This is more expensive than that.
Yeah.
So if this was cheaper, I could see it fitting into that analogy of hey, it's a practical one. You might see this in your neighborhood.
Is there anything crazy about the technology?
A lot of the Ferrari engineering is in the under the hood design. Every single wheel has independent steering, independent suspension adjustment, and independent torque vectoring and power. So there's 3 motors per wheel, which is crazy. It's 1,000 horsepower. It does this crazy active suspension. It does a whole lot of, you're driving it, it's actively keeping it flat, the tork vectoring, a lot of stuff.
You got to drive it.
Yeah, and you'll see a lot of, I'll talk about it in the video. I can't evaluate it. I'm trying to describe it. Trying to be, kosher with the embargo.
3 times.
But yes, it does drive, like a Ferrari. It's supposed to.
Okay.
So yeah,
there's a thing too with high-end watches. It's very similar where a watch will come out that's $300,000, and it's okay, who the hell is going to buy that? But as a watch person that doesn't play in that tax bracket, it is good to know that these things still exist. As a person who's enthusiastic about the mechanics and the stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's the vibe I'm getting with this. There's a lot in the car that I'm just glad that it exists in an electric car, and I want to see it trickle down to something else.
I wonder, for my analogy with watches, and I just kind of used Rolex as my example because I don't know anything about watches, but if Rolex made an Apple Watch competitor.
A smartwatch, yeah.
How would that land with Rolex people?
Was square,
that's such a great example.
If they made just a watch with a battery and a screen, and they had some cool technology in it that maybe was different that you don't see in an Apple Watch, but it was also $200,000. It doesn't
look like
match.
a fish.
And it
would look like a fish compared to every other Rolex.
Yeah.
Even if it's not the ugliest smartwatch of all time.
Right.
It's ugly for a Rolex.
Right.
That
if it looked
feels
like a
the same
CMF
thing.
watch.
Exactly. That's what this Ferrari Luce feels like in the world of Ferraris. But if you take that badge off, and
No,
there's
I fully agree with you on
there's another conspiracy, but maybe not even conspiracy, is
debadge it.
think about Apple for a second. Think about Apple for a second.
Thinking about it.
Oh, yeah.
When they came out with the Vision Pro, what did they say? That took them a decade
Yeah.
to make,
Yeah.
to like do all the engineering and the behind the scenes and the design and everything from the ground up for this VR headset, $3,500, a decade of secretive work, right?
Yeah.
Everyone kind of knows, open secret at this point, that Apple was developing a car for a long time and then eventually canned it. And then Lovefrom comes along and partners with Ferrari sometime around 2019, 2020, and makes this car from the ground up in 6 or 7 years. I don't know if that's a normal timeline for developing a super expensive and like complex electric car, but it would seem to me that at least some of the DNA from a previous car project from Johnny Ive and team probably had to be a lot of the foundation for this car.
I can see that.
And so if you take that Ferrari badge off and put an Apple logo on the front, it doesn't
Charge it on
seem
the
that
bottom.
crazy, right?
still looks like a fish,
It
though.
seems it still looks like a fish. It still looks like a BYD aided a Ferrari with those lights on the back.
Yeah.
But it does feel a little, because now there's no heritage, there's no Ferrari expectations. It's just like, oh, Apple made a car. What does it look like? Oh, it's
Magic
kind of
Mouse.
weird. Looks kind of like a Magic Mouse.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of weird, I guess. But whatever. That's probably a little bit more in line with the reaction that we would have seen.
Yeah.
So I think there's a little Project Titan in this car.
I will say that former Ferrari chairman Montezemolo said, "I cannot say what I really think. I would harm Ferrari. We risk the destruction of a legend. So sorry. Take the prancing horse off. At least the Chinese won't copy this car." I feel like he said what he thought.
That is like the harshest,
There was just a couple slurs in there or something in terms of what he
some
couldn't
hand
say.
gestures.
Not very many people are happy. And people are making very funny memes because in the introduction video they had of it, they had like these people who were like really well dressed were sort of walking around looking at it. And people are
Ferrari
taking
stuff.
Yeah, people were taking screenshots of them being like kind of looking terrified. Just being like, what is this?
I want the unfiltered thoughts of Charles Leclerc
Yes.
and Lewis Hamilton.
Dude, okay, I can finally say this now. Like when I went to shoot the F1 stuff in Miami the week after I was in Italy, I was just hanging around a lot of Ferrari people, and all of them who'd found out that I'd driven the Luce were like, so what do you think? Like sort of nervously, like they all know that it's a little bit crazy, and they're trying to like, so what do you think? And I remember I kind of said a lot of the same stuff to them. I was like, yeah, the interior is nice, but that it looks really different. And they're like, yeah, it does look very different. Like they would all agree. So they all know, like internally, they all
I
know.
can neither confirm nor deny.
Poor guy.
Yeah, I'm just so curious about like the structure of like how do they decide to work with Lovefrom and have what feels like zero input on the entire car design.
Minus the like rear taillights.
The taillights feel like something that Lovefrom took and put there so that it's a Ferrari technically, but like
Otherwise, it's an Apple
there
car.
is no other reference to any other Ferrari DNA other than the badge anywhere on this car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing.
You could have made this look like a MacBook Air and it would more look like a Ferrari than this. Yeah. Because
It's-
the MacBook Air at least has the wedge shape of
Yeah.
the traditional Ferraris.
There are some really interesting quirks on the external design. The windshield wipers are on the outside of the windshield because there's no cowl to like protect them, and there's like this smooth glass canopy down to the front nose of the car. So kind of like a Cybertruck, but like one on each side. Kind of insane, but
Kinda cool.
odd. The headlights are also all smooth, so like that glass continues down to the front and over the headlights, so they don't protrude at all. They're just like smooth with the body of the car.
When you
which is
crack
interesting.
it, it's going to cost
Yeah, that sounds-
$200,000.
Well, it's not one piece. It's just like smooth headlight glass and then continues smooth with the rest.
Okay.
So that's kind of interesting. The wheels, so they have this turbine looking wheel that I shot in my video and that you see everywhere else. I think it looks horrible, but
Yeah.
it is what you see on a lot of other electric cars is like dinner plate sized wheels.
So bad.
Because that's more aero efficient. This is the aero thing again. Like they look bad, but how many times have I talked
Why
about
do they
a
need
terrible
to be aerodynamic?
because Yeah, just different. Different. They don't have to. I don't think they have to. It's a Ferrari. I don't give two hoots about like what type of range. I'm not going to drive it every day, but
if I didn't care about being air efficient, I would just want an 80s hatchback to be my EV. That's all I want.
Yeah. So they have
Marques, I have a
still want
for
that.
you.
Yes.
I still want that.
Are we going to get one so you can drive around?
One.
Are we going to like
At any point
of
in
the
future,
two that
a
exist?
review
of
unit?
the two that exists.
Not
Oh,
after
God.
this episode.
I would say that Ferrari probably doesn't love what anyone is saying about this car, but I just don't. I feel like they're going to keep it.
Why did they choose the colors they chose?
I don't look. If you look
Why
on their
are you the way that you
configurator,
Light blue and yellow.
if you look on their configurator, change the paint colors. It can kind of look a little less ridiculous. I think that baby blue is pretty terrible.
It's horrible.
The blue, actually, the wheels are the most offensive part of the car to me. But if you get to that 5-spoke wheel design and like a darker color, it looks a little less offensive.
A matte black? What? No way.
This isn't black. This is blue. You're looking at my screen. This is blue.
Wow, this website for the configurator is really broken and bad.
Yeah, the configurator is also.
I can't believe they even let you configure this on the internet. I feel like you'd have to go somewhere and do it. Oh
No,
my
they want
God.
someone to buy it.
These all look like something from like a 2008 PlayStation 2 video game.
Yeah, but this is how car configurators look.
Oh my God, it looks so bad.
I think it's a pretty cool car.
There it is.
All right, well.
I do. I think it's cool in the front, and I think it's cool in the back, and I think it's cool on the inside, and I don't mind the wheels.
The interior is.
Inside
I don't
is
even
so
think.
dope.
I feel like we haven't even talked about the interior.
The
because how
interior is
much,
nice,
but
yeah.
the interior is actually, and I want to make sure I'm not
bad.
saying this wrong. It is the best interior of any electric car I've ever driven.
Yeah. It looks nice.
Yeah.
There was a point in Cleo's video, which was really good, where she, and I noticed it on your video too, even though you didn't mention it, I don't think, but the bar on the tablet on the inside is not just like a handle to wiggle the screen around or whatever. You'd like naturally place your hand there almost like a palm rest when you're interacting with the screen.
Yeah.
And I had never thought about that in any of these screens in any car. Like that little touch is
It
so
is in
nice.
a couple cars that I've driven. It is perfect on this screen because it moves. Yeah. But in my car, in the 911, it's the same thing. Like every time I touch the screen, I always rest my hand in the same exact spot and then touch the screen, so I don't have to like
It's
think
so
too hard.
good. That's so
and this is probably because it moves. They decided to put the handle on it. Very clever.
My issue with that screen that can rotate, it's like a ball head, right? Like it can go.
Yeah, it's fully
up,
manual.
down. Yeah. It will never be level the first time you move it. You move it once and it will never be level again for the rest of its life.
You gotta just pull it towards yourself and just.
I think I would have to carry a level in the car with me.
It's never
and
gonna
just,
be
like
level.
fix it again. It would drive me insane. The key,
So cool.
it's so cool.
So cool.
It's so unnecessary and
Dude, the
so
key?
cool. That's
Okay.
the cool, fun little things that
Yeah.
I'm here for.
For anyone who hasn't seen the key is this little rectangle, this magnetic light up rectangle with the Ferrari prancing horse on it.
Giant Ferrari
It's
logo on
yellow. It's glowing yellow, and then you put it in this designated spot in the center console. It magnetizes to align with that center spot, and then you slowly push it into the center console until it's flush.
You have to do this every time.
I mean, this is like getting in. They decided like instead of getting in a car, turning the key, and then the engine comes to life. You need like a come to life moment for this car.
getting in the car.
So you push it into the center console. That yellow light then transfers to the drive select,
It's really
sick.
cool.
and then you move that to drive, and then you're going. That
It's like Indiana Jones, like it's
pretty nice.
finding an artifact and putting it in a wall.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that I mean. I can't wait for
That's
these little touches to trickle down into all of our cars.
true.
Yeah, Subaru would break the shit out of that.
I want to see that in the next RAV4, baby. Yeah. So there's some great interior details with this car, and
I love that key because the logo is so big that you're out with your friends and the key's on the table and they're like, damn, you have a Ferrari?
Oh,
You're
that's
like,
every
come
Ferrari
check
key.
it out. And then they see them and they're like, just never mind, I'm good.
dude, all the Ferrari keys are those same rectangle, just like a big-
Really?
yeah,
They're just huge with the logo on it.
and
That
they
makes
always have
sense.
like a little rectangle in the center console to put the key in, but this one is like the magnet
Okay.
and the light and all that.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. We're gonna see one on the street someday, and we're all gonna go, oh boy.
I was thinking
real.
that the first time I see this on the street, I'm 100% stopping. Like it is one of those.
Do you think you're going to see it on the street? I don't think I'm ever going to see this on the street.
You'll see it at Meatpacking?
Not
one
as much
day.
as you'll see like
Be in
once in a
Meatpacking,
while.
you're right, you're
Like
right.
you'll see a random Lamborghini sometimes.
That's a neighborhood in New York. I feel like if you
Yeah.
don't know Manhattan, you just hear us say like, no, we'll see it at Meatpacking. That doesn't make any sense
Well,
at all.
there's meatpacking districts in other cities too.
Name one.
Copenhagen.
Oh.
It's meatpacking.
Got him.
Okay.
All right, last question for you guys. Last question on this design, and try to think like far out future.
Okay.
But how do we think this will age? Because a lot of cars have an initial reception that's one thing,
This
and
reminds me of a
then
tweet
6 months later, a year later, 5 years later, it's something different.
I don't know about 6 months, but I think in 20 years, it'll be nice. I think part of the reason why people don't like this car now, currently, is because it looks very much like all of the other EVs that are coming out now. Blobs. And I think Ferrari, when I picture a Ferrari, it's the designs of the 80s and the 90s. Like it is these...
Pininfarina.
Yeah, like it is a beautiful angular beast.
Aggressive, arrow.
And this is not that.
Right.
So I think right now we're looking back on everything with such like, it's your... To your point, Marques, like about the reminiscing on the past is like destroying everything.
Yeah.
I think in 30 years, when we're reminiscing about this era of cars and designs and stuff like that, then maybe I'll look back on this fondly. But right now, it looks like a whale.
I disagree, and do you want to know why?
Why?
Do you remember the glossy computer monitors with giant bezels from the 2010s?
Yes.
The Apple Cinema displays.
Those did not age well,
Correct.
and this car reminds me of those monitors.
Really?
Disagree.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, I think those aged like fine wine.
Are you,
Did
are you serious?
They look nice in a room. They might not like be like an optimal
Look
computer
nice
use,
in
but
a room.
they look nice in a room.
This looks nice.
If
in
you put a
room.
monitor display in that thing, absolutely.
This
That's
looks
sick.
nice in a room.
I will say something
No,
that...
wait, whoa. That's not an Apple Cinema display.
No, I didn't say Apple Cinemas.
Oh,
right?
Cinema display?
I just said the like glossy black computer monitors.
No, that's different.
from
The Apple
2010s.
Cinema display has aged like fine wine.
Yeah,
With
it doesn't
big
remind me
bezel.
an Apple Cinema display.
So you know what's funny that ages like fine wine? What a lot of people say this about Bugatti. They've made cars for a long time, and something they specifically do is avoid putting large displays in the cars.
Yeah,
and
because
philosophically, it's because that's not going to look new anymore in 5 years or 10 years or 50 years when these people
technology
still
gets
have
better.
these cars.
Like putting an iPad in your house. Like,
Yeah.
Build it into the wall.
Yeah.
And so now, once you see that, you can't unsee the difference between a lot of these cars keeping it very analog or just going, you know what, here's a 75-inch screen. Like this is just an Escalade screen in your car.
Yeah.
This Luce is curiously kind of right in the middle. Like it blends the displays. It's really hard to get on video, but it blends the displays and the physical materials
that was really
really well.
impressive.
And I wonder how that's going to
The
age.
interior looks amazing. So
Yeah.
I think that'll age fine.
Did you see the tweet that just said everyone thought the Cybertruck looked ugly when it was released, and all the replies are like,
It still
everyone
does.
still thinks the exact same thing.
Well, you know what's
which
funny?
Feels like what you're asking.
When the
right now.
the Cybertruck is interesting because when the Cybertruck first came out, there was a brief like pop star moment where people were like, the first reaction wasn't ew a Cybertruck.
like,
The first
what's
reaction was like, holy cow, what is that spaceship thing?
Yeah.
And then it was ugly.
Yeah.
And so this it could be the opposite.
But this is a little weirder because I think it does look a little too much like a Leaf or a Prius in a sense.
Yeah, it looks like a Leaf.
So like,
For sure.
and it being a Ferrari is,
Yeah.
It was cool when the Prius looked like a Lamborghini. It's not cool when the Ferrari looks like a Prius.
That's exactly
Yes.
That's a perfect explanation of why this will probably age poorly.
Okay. So you know how you can now just vibe code apps on Android instantaneously with the prompt? Mm-hmm. We have to vibe code a group competition for the Fitbit. Has to happen.
Should be just one prompt, right?
Why are we not already competing, actually? Because you know how many steps I have this week?
You're ducking the smoke, bro.
50,000. How many steps do you have?
Probably like 51,000.
I'll see about that.
Can't verify it because I don't use a Fitbit.
But you did.
I did.
Wait, how many do you have? I'm actually curious.
I think I'd have to use the Apple Watch because that's the only one I've worn the last.
I can't tell if
7
this
days.
is still the Clips outro or now just a conversation. So like and subscribe.
Like and
See you
subscribe.
next week.
I'm legit curious, though.
That's perfect. Okay.